Hello there and welcome to Going Coastal Series 2. We've got a fantastic lineup for you and we can't wait for you to see it. I thought it'd be more exciting than that, but they've actually slowed down. It was meant to be more of a... Can we do it again, please? Well, I'm not going up there, so... Right, this is it! Oh, it's a lot faster actually when you're on it. It's time for Going Series, Going Coastal Series 2! Fish, chips with mushy peas. These are the tastes of the 7 seas. That's the start of a rhyme my granddad used to tell me when I was 8 years old. I can't actually see the rest of it because it's a bit too hot for TV. Welcome to Series 2 of Going Coastal. We're going to give you a taste of all the Great British Coast has to offer. On this week's episode, I'll be discovering the stories behind some of Britain's favourite boats. Madeline Softcove will be tucking into a bit of history, and I'll be meeting a very, very special guest. Not them. Every boat tells a story. And the names that boats have are some of the best stories at all. This is Big Roan. This is named after the bloke who owned the boat. His name was Roan. It was quite small. It was ironic, really. Fishermen have quite the sense of humour. This is girl Lucy. Well, this is quite a sad story. This was actually a gender reveal party gone wrong. The entire family was lost at sea. And of course we have SM5, a story that tells itself. We have to apologise. You may be wondering what happened to Wendy Wallace. Well, after reviewing the last series, we noticed that she would often use inappropriate and offensive language, and unfortunately, we had to let her go. Luckily, however, we have Madeline Softcove, who will be gaily gambling for the history of the Great British Coast.
Oh, hello! Well, this week we're going to talk about when those naughty Nazis tried to slip one in round the back. It was 1946. The Germans were about to attack our shores. Operation Slippery Eel was go. They decided to do a circular formation, rounding off in a point and coming through and getting us right in the rear. And they attacked these very shores. Come on! Chase me, Clive, come on! This estuary might not look like much now, but in 1946 the Germans were thrusting their way right up into that crevice over there and getting inland. Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. So, when the Nazis finally arrived, our British seamen had erected a whole proud row of buttresses, and when they got here, they just blew them off. Bang, bang! Bang, bang! Oh, you got me! with them, and we soon bashed the Bosch. That'll teach those warring willies.
Harbours like this are where my granddad would make his living in the Merchant Navy. He'd just walk onto a boat, say here I am, and then he'd go out to sea for maybe 3 to 6 to 18 months. It was always an occasion when Grandad returned from the sea. He'd give me gifts, he'd tell me stories of his adventures. But one day, he didn't come back. Regular viewers will know that one fateful Christmas, he disappeared, sunk without a trace, without hope, until, out of the blue waters of despair, came a letter. Someone had seen our show. More importantly, they'd seen my granddad. He was alive. I had to find him. The letter said I needed to go to the coast, and off to the coast I went. The wind in my sails and a £10 allowance for food. Got a few stones in my boot there, Clive, eh? That's him. That's him, it's my granddad. Oh! You saw me, it's Christmas, you went out to sea to get me a scale electric.
Christ, you've changed a lot since those days.
Hello Grandad.
Wee Donald.
I thought you were dead.
Well, to tell you the truth, I thought you were 8.
My granddad was as excited to see me as I was to see him. I couldn't wait to sit down with him and share stories of his old adventures. Well, this is very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. It's my granddad. It's my granddad. He's alive. I thought he was dead, but he's not. Hello, Grandad. Granddaddy.
You're sure you're not working for the police, right? And I don't want to be on camera. Can you blur my face or something?
I mean, it's just Clive and the people at home. The last time I saw you, it was Christmas, and you said I'm going to get you a scale electric, and you went off to sea and you never come back. We thought you were dead.
Right. Well, see, what happened was I was on a job to go and collect toys from a ship, a container ship, you know.
Aye, in the Merchant Navy.
The merchant, well, more or less, aye. And anyway, that particular ship, they put up a bit of a battle, you know, when we boarded it.
Like paperwork, kind of.
Paperwork?
You know, at sea and you're trading, you needed paper. You don't mean an actual battle, of course.
Don't be stupid, of course I mean an actual battle. That's part of the job, innit? You've got to get on, you've got to seize, you've got to cut through, get what you want, get off and get away on the boat. That's what you've got to do, that's a job.
In the Merchant Navy.
The what?
In the Merchant Navy.
Well, whatever you want to call it is fine, yeah, but basically, you know, my job was more about exchange of goods, right? You go from one ship to another ship, you overtake whatever opposition you meet at sea by hook or by crook, and you seize all their assets, and you take those assets and then you take them somewhere else and you get rid of them. That's how it works, son, that's how it works.
Granda, what you're describing sounds less about the trade of the Merchant Navy and a lot more like modern day piracy.
It's still going to be on TV, you can't put this on TV, son.
Well, someone had seen you and said, I think that's your granddaddy. And
who told you that then?
It was a letter.
Somebody wrote you a letter to say they'd seen
They saw the episode where I told the story.
Tell me who it was, and I'm going to sort them out. I'm going to get them. They're a grass.
Why don't you tell me one of your fun waste stories? Tell it for the audience so they can know what you've been up to.
Well, funny you should say that. There was a particularly rum incident that happened some years ago off the coast of Somalia, where we were charged with boarding a ship and taking not goods, alcohol or drugs, but this time people. So what happened was we stormed on board and battered them.
It's joking.
You were lost along the way.
Of course you're joking. These are the kinds of stories you'd tell me when I was a wee boy. You know, you like to exaggerate. It's what what you said, and I shouldn't tell anyone.
If you like, son, if you like.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Up she rises, shoo, up she rises, shoo, up she rises early in the morning.
Yeah. I wrote that song.
Yeah, that's what you said. Hey.
You want the second verse? It's about your gran. Anyway, Matches, it's been nice talking to you. I see someone coming down the beach now in a uniform, and I think maybe it's time for me to move on.
Please stay, Grandad. I've only just found you again.
Hey, what do you want me again?
I only just found you.
Oh, well, never mind, you thought I was dead anyway. Right, here, fun, see ya.
Whose back is this? Like the coming and going of the tide, my granddad was swept away. And a few weeks later, I received another letter. That cruel mistress the sea had struck again. The letter said my granddad was dead. His boat had mysteriously exploded, and it had gone down faster than those prostitutes he used to frequent. As I sat there, I reflected on those short moments that we'd had together. Everything that he'd told me, the adventures, the stories, that had inspired me so as a young boy. And I started to realise, perhaps I would never get that Scalextrics, but I had finally spoken to a modern day pirate. Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Going Coastal. See you next week, eh? Throw him in the brig until he's sober, throw him in the brig until he's sober, throw him in the brig until he's sober. Early in the morning. On next week's episode, I'll be taking a deep dive into our waters. Madeline Softcove will be on her knees for history.
Saucy sailors.
And I'll be walking along the harbour next to some boats.